Okay, hello one. So today I just want to make one video for someone. It will be dedicated for Val's life. She's the lady who interview basically on her channels basically droners, and she actually wanna build her own drone, and she is at the stage where she need to learn how to solder stuff, and that's the video for her. So if you want to check it out, go to her streams, her channel. Her name is Val's Life, and enjoy. And let's get to the topic. So soldering, cool. After some time it gets much easy, but at the beginning could be harmful. So let's just look at the iron types. There's like one, simple, easy to use. It's always hot. Basically after it's warm up, it keeps the temperature until you touch something really cold. So that's the one type. That's the second type, basically similar, but you have self-station and very light self-iron, so it's easy to handle and everything. You got some actually temperature control in here, so you can adjust your temperature, and some tiny sponge to clean up your tip. Anyway, that's okay one. This one, I would say it's also usable, but my favorite is this one. This is transfer soldering machine, and I believe this one I had already like over 10 years, and it never disappointed me. I got one more same type in my life, but it just hit few times the ground, just fall out from my workbench or something, and all those plastic cover get broken and just fall apart. Anyway, that's my favorite ones. Anyway, last time I just see at some shops something like this, and I went ahead and bought it because it has like feeding system. When you just push those button here, the solder go on our tip and further and so on. But it is actually a mistake. I thought it was some cool idea, but not really. Anyway, this one has as well some temperature adjustment on it, but yeah. Okay, I dropped something. So that's the basically type of solder iron. Let's go up to a tin types. So tin, look like this. That's the soldering tin. Self temperature to melt the tin, it's around 231 degrees Celsius. But tin, it's not always only tin. Sometimes they are mixed with other metals like silver, like lead, and many other add-ons on the soldering tin. So that was the one shape of the tin. I'm not really sure what this one are, but because I don't have any like sticker on it. That's the second one. It's also the same soldering tin, and it's actually stand on it, if you can see, SN60 PB40. So it means it's 60% tin and 40% of lead on it. and it's 1 millimeter in diameter. Anyway, next one, a little bit thicker, but still same type, SN60 PB40, 1.5 millimeter. It's all about this diameter. There's also a tin, I don't even know where I get this one, but it's standing here, solder, core wire, something made in Singapore. Okay, and those roll weight half kilo. So anyway, another one, slightly thicker. It's also thin, 2 millimeters. Yeah, 100 grams, and it's standing here, 2.5% flux on it. So they didn't use the lead in this one, they used some kind of flux. So as well, different one. You can get tin in such a shapes as well, but this I believe is some pellets for feeding some machines. I'm not really sure, but I got few of them. Okay, anyway, what next we can say about the soldering? Yeah, wires is also different, because you can have like, mainly you will have at the drones such wires like that, so it means it has many tiny small wires in it, and yeah, they are just twisted in one shield. Anyway, there's like thicker wires, even more thick like that, and there's wires with one piece of metal inside of copper or whatever, or plated copper, tin, not tin plated but chrome or something else. Anyway, this one is just copper wire, this one is just plated with the other metals, nickel plated, yeah, I believe. Anyway, and I believe that's the type you meet at the drone building stage and soldering, or something like that, just copper wire with many tiny wire inside. There's same deal. Okay, what else? Helping tools for soldering. It's like just tiny vise, just like that. You can mount it on your workbench or on your table, just to keep your materials or circuit board what you wanna solder on. That is very old, I don't know where I get it, probably from scrapyard, but it's can be mounted on the table or whatever. Just put it on, screw it, and then you have something to mount your circuit board, just like that. And now you can easily work on it. Yeah, another one, it's basically the same thing, but this one I get from some, I believe, supermarket. It was really cheap but very useful. Same deal with those difference. This one has some gummy pads in here, so first of all it prevents to electric shortage and destroying some components at your circuit boards a little bit, because anyway you have to be careful where you catch your circuit boards. And another cool things this one has, it's like able to move almost in every direction like that, and yeah, whatever you want, and you just block it in here and it's steady again. So that's cool. Another good things, I found those tools in some kind of, also some market, I believe, supermarket, was that little guy. You have like magnifying glass at the top, even with the light. That is helping a lot. You just lift this one up. You have like as well some holder for your circuit boards. This is mostly for tiny ones. I believe you will work on such a size around. And yeah, it has just two holding things, so you can just screw it and mount it, and you have two hands to working on self circuit board. Plus you have tiny holder on for your iron in here, so that is cool. And again, you got magnifying glass, so you can see better what are you doing, which exactly contact you hitting. And yeah, that's it for helpers. What else you will need? You will need as well some kind of things for stripping the wire. You can easily use just knife like that, or simple one. Even sharp kitchen knife will do the job. There is tons of cable stripper what work for, let's say, 10, maybe 50 wires. Later on they lose their ability to cut the isolation. Either way, they don't cut it through, or they are just cutting too deep. I found useful that type. This is very cool, very old style, and actually you have holes in here where you put your cable, squeeze it and just pull it, and it works every time. And it has some adjusting things in here, because you need to find out first the gauge of your cable, then you set the right distance between, and just block it with the second nuts. Simplest as can be, and it worked the best for me until now. So yeah, you will need cutters, side cutters, something like that. Always useful. You can have bigger one, smallest one. That's always helpful. In my opinion, the best type is that one with such a shape of knives. As you can see, we got like around two shaped, and because I like this one the most, it's also very useful if you want to strip the wire. You just grab the piece of cable in here, twist it around, and then your cable is stripped. After some practicing, you will find out it very useful. We got one for thicker cable, one for thinner cable. So that's best cutters, for me at least. You will find out your own after you begin to cut something. Yeah, what else? How to solder. It all depends what you're soldering on. Let's say I will take those tiny circuit boards of, I don't know even what it was. Anyway, never mind. Let's just put it into my tiny vise in here. No, wrong way. You got it? So, steady. Let me just use my tripod so we can see. Let's say I want to solder some cable into this contact here, let's say for just grounding. What I need to do, get some piece of wire. Old style was to dip those area where I stripped into hydrochloric acid, then make it white. Making it white, it means just cover with the tin. So And that's what I was talking about, stripping thin cable with this cutter. So apply, turn, and then cable is stripped without any problem. So what we do, we just twist it a bit, put the cable on the place, get our solder in our hands. Let's say I will use this one. Okay, I just break a piece accidentally, so that's good enough. What we need to do first, warm up our machine. Start it, wait a few seconds, put the heat on the wire you want to make white, and just put the solder on it, just like that. Now our cable is white, we can say that. Later on we need to apply some solder on our circuit boards. You can get a lot of chemicals instead of using hydrochloric acid, because it's vapors, it's not so good. So we need to apply tiny bit of solder on the spot where we want to solder it, just like that. And then again we put our wire on it and warm it up, everything, and just try to solder it together. That's it. Perfect. Hold. Closer look. Nice, shiny, clean soldering. Our isolation not get dark or burnt or something. Our contact is strong, we can pull it and it's holding, and it's nice and shiny. If it's not shiny, if it's matte, it means you make like cold soldering, so the contact will not work so well. The electricity doesn't go through like it's supposed to. Anyway, that's the look of the right soldered contact. Let me just do it. Let's just solder it with this one as well. So let's just give it good steady place for working. Next we just need to white out our end of cable. Let me just use the other solder. This one I will go with the thicker one. It's a little bit different, but the thin one for the drones will work perfectly. So let's grab a little bit. Okay, I dropped some. Anyway, it's whited. Now let's just give a little bit in here. Yeah, this one is definitely different. And just solder it together. Okay, I believe this solder is made for pipes soldering, because it's like very hard to warm up. Anyway, it's a little bit matte, so it's not 100% good contact, as you can see, but it is holding very strong. And I believe this, like I said, this solder is not for electronics. Let's get rid of my splash from here. Anyway, what happened if you add too much temperature to it? Okay, just quick look. Where is this? No. If you give too much heat, let's just go on this one. Yeah, okay, let's try with this one. So come on. No, on this one will not work, but it will work in here, for example. See, there's soldering point. I just warm it up. Now I'm supposed to put something on it, like wire or whatever. If I keep warming it up, all this tiny line will unglue from the circuit board, and that's what happens when you give too much heat. Okay, the circuit board is like not cooperating, but anyway, that's what happened. And then later on you have no place to solder, or your contact is like broken. Let's try on this one. And only the mask coming away. But yeah, anyway, I used to actually this method with this soldering iron to remove gold plated pins from the circuit boards. I just warm this guy out, and when I have, let's say, a circuit board like this one, for example, here I have gold plated pins, then I just warm it up, put it here and wait until all pins warm up and unglue from the circuit boards, and then just go further and scrape it all. So I use those overheating method for extracting pins. One more thing, when you wanna solder with something sensitive for temperature, let's say some components, what is very useful to have some crocodiles. Crocodiles is just tiny clamp, metal clamp. This is actually some kind of connection cable, but anyway, same deal. Just crocodiles is those clamp even without this cable. Let's say you wanna solder this leg with some wire or something, but this thing is very sensitive for temperature, those components or whatever. So what you can do to not overheat it, just put some crocodile on it. Then all temperature while you're soldering in here will go, instead of directly to the not device component, it will go in your crocodile. So let's just try to make it. Let's just get some tiny piece of cable, and as always at the beginning we need to just give it like a little white, make it white cable, just like that. Then we need to put a tiny amount of tin on our soldered component. Just like that. I just hope I didn't solder my crocodile on it. And just solder it together. Just like that. And that's it. As you can see, nice strong connection, cannot be break it out without destroying the component. That's how strong solder it is. Yeah, anyway, I believe that's the basic of soldering and tiny tricks what you can use. I hope that was helpful for you. and you enjoyed watching it. And yeah, who knows, maybe someone else will learn something of it. Soldering is cool, guys. Okay, I hope Val it will be helpful for you. So bye everyone, bye Val.